Howdy, everyone. All right. I've got a lot going on here. I'll try to explain it the best I can. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to fit this bar here. This is the bar that I cut the hooks off of. It's on the back side of the bulkhead. I've got the front hooks fully engaged and I've got them temporarily held in place with bolts. I've got that side on and this side. Now what I'm trying to do is get the hole on this rear mount, if you will, this tube here, the hole on its ear in line through the bulkhead with the hole on the hook. You want those two holes in line level. You don't want them one higher than the other. Now what I've done, I've got out my blue pole again across the longerons. I put the digital level on it just to get a measurement. The fuselage is not level, but I just wanted a reference number on my digital level. And now I've got the digital level also now on the bar, and you can see it's reading 0.4. That's the same reading that I had on my blue bar, and it's 0.4 in the same direction. So I know that this tube is level with the fuselage. Now what I had done, I'm trying to get this on film. I had used a drill bit and basically lined the drill bit up through the center line of the holes and held it on with tape. I think you can see that. And I did that on the other side as well. You can hopefully see the drill bit there, and it runs through the holes and it's held on with tape. That is nothing more than a visual reference, so I can reference the length of that drill bit in relation to, I can look at the length of that drill bit and compare it to the longeron just to make sure that it's somewhat level. Doesn't need to be perfect. What you do need to pay attention to is, if I can do this, the vertical part of the arm. That vertical part of the arm does in fact need to be vertical. Now you can adjust that. I'm using like a turnbuckle assembly, which I'll show you when I get it. I can adjust that, but you basically want that back ear vertical, and then you get your drill bit or some kind of mechanism to line up the holes so that they're lined up this way. And then I've got my C-clamps just to do the up and down adjustment. My battery light came on, so I'm going to have to stop here and recharge, but I'll come back. I'm working through it. Eventually, I'm going to drill the holes for those mounting blocks. So we'll get there. Stand by. All right, howdy everyone. Sorry about that interruption. I had to get some battery charge on this camera before it quit. All right, so like I said, there's a lot going on here. This, of course, is the bar that I've been talking about. It's on the back side of the bulkhead. I got a digital level on it just to verify that it is, in fact, level with the fuselage. You can see I've got C-clamps clamped to the bulkhead, and those are just to hold the bar in the appropriate position. It's fairly easy to adjust the height once you get it close just by rotating the C-clamp up or down. The back edge of the ear, so this back edge of the ear, you want that to be perpendicular. I've got the drill bit taped from the center hole of the latch to the center hole of this back ear, and that just gives me a visual reference to make sure that I've got the holes pretty much in alignment front to back in this orientation. Again, I'm just eyeballing that. It's not entirely critical, but you want to get it as close as you can so that the holes on the holes on the latch arm and the hole on the ear are roughly even. Do that for both sides, of course. The other thing is, before you drill the holes, which I'm getting very close to doing, you want to make sure that the block, so you can see I've got a couple of bolts through the block, but I don't have anything drilled through the bulkhead. You want the bolt, or you want to make sure that the blocks are pushed on to the bar all the way. You want them to be snug on each end of the bar, so the bar itself doesn't have room to move back and forth. And then, of course, if I can come around, let me see if I can get that. Maybe through here. I've got spacers on the bolts. Again, the bolts have not been drilled through the bulkhead. They're just touching the bulkhead. I'm trying to get oriented myself here. But you can see I got the aluminum spacers on the bolts. Or on the blocks, I should say. So those are permanent. Those will stay. And with the spacers, I think I made the spacers 5/8 in length. That gives me about an 1/8 inch clearance between the bar and the bulkhead. Okay, so at this point, again, just to recap real quick, I got the hook latch fully engaged. I've got obviously it's attached to the bulkhead. I've got the hook fully engaged. I got this rod here clamped level with the fuselage. I've got the ear hole lined up with the hole in the latch, using the drill bit as a reference, an eyeball reference. And then I've got the spacers on the blocks, the aluminum spacers around the blocks. I've got the blocks. I made sure that the blocks are tight on each end. They're in on each end, so the rod itself cannot move. Now all I need to do is take the assembly and move it left and right so that I can try to get the ear roughly in line with the hole, which should roughly be in line with the hook on the other side. So once you have everything level, square, snug, and lined up, you can go ahead through your blocks, mark those 2 hole locations, and put some bolts in and see how it works, or at least see if you're close, see if you can get it to line up. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to double check everything one last time, and I'm going to start marking holes in the bulkhead and get the holes drilled so I can get this piece here installed. All right, talk to you soon.